and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. It is Dynama Day again, and I'm so excited. Okay, before I pass you over to Sneaky Renee, I am going to just get you to look at the attention over to the chat where you can see the links to our Discord, Redbubble, and lots of other things, and also to our sponsors, the wonderful Bird in the Storm, and also Mage Hand Press. I know we said we wouldn't have a Renee today, but Renee is a force of nature and refused to miss it. So, Renee, I hope you're feeling okay. And so chat, please give her lots of love because she's forced her way in to the Zoom chat. But we love her.
That's the link where I could see it. So that's what I have to say about that. Hi, I'm Renee Rhodes. I had surgery yesterday. So I'm here and we're gonna have a great time. But I thankfully have a great cast that I know will help me tell a great story. And anyway, hi, we are playing Weave. This is a playset written for the game called Dynama. I wrote it. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of high tech, high magic. And so each of the characters have picked a suit that they were going to be like the skill that they were best at. Those are flames, gales, brooks, or stones. And then they drew cards in order to see what choices they had to make for their character, just like I drew cards to kind of inform the overall story. It's a very interesting game by Monocle Society, and I love it. But because the dice have symbols on them, we've actually ported it to Roll20 so that we can like match a symbol to a number. So we're going to try and make that as clear as possible. But let's go around real fast, and everyone can say who they are, what suit character they're playing, and I guess the name of the character they're playing too. And Alice, would you please go first?
Yes. Hi, I'm Alice. I'm White Rabbit Pick, and I play Umiko, the clueless whatever she is, and I'm also the Gale's character.
Okay, Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly, and I play Skylar, who is our Flames character.
Julie.
Hello, I'm Julie. I play Fen, who is our Stones character.
And then Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay, and I'm playing Sierra, our Brooks character.
Rock on. We ended at a pretty devastating, if I do say so myself, spot last week with two of the characters we know and love passing away, and a number of people who were kind of in the safe haven that the party had been staying at have also been killed. So what have y'all been doing in the meantime?
I think I've been trying to just make space for people to rest and recuperate and stuff, since a lot of this architecture, I suppose, has fallen from the trees. Just like making shelters and things. I suppose that would probably take the rest of that day, if not longer, and just trying to get people comfortable and be useful.
Yeah, I think I would have sort of probably headed out into the forest or something to find something to eat now that there's nothing left, and probably started going through all of the rubble and whatever's left of what's around, see if we can find anything useful, just to like blankets and things like that, as we didn't actually bring anything like that with us.
Right, yeah, that's a good plan as well. And so if you're going kind of back that direction, I would encourage you to, I'm not gonna encourage you, I'm the storyteller.
Yeah.
It's just an intelligence check just to see. So we're looking for 5s or 6s just to kind of see what you pick up on as you go.
1, 5. I think I'm just looking for just
5.
Probably-
So 1 success, I think.
Yeah, 1 success. So I just need to. I'm looking for like. I guess I could go back to some of the houses if there was one where we left the others before we went back to the village, just to see if there's blankets, water. I know that there was this weird inside lake that I could fill water up from and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So if you kind of make your way back around to some of the houses, you're able to, with that success, find some of the supplies you were looking for. Not all of them are in great condition, but they'll do. Like a blanket is with holes in it is better than a burned to a crisp blanket.
yeah, she's just piling it all onto Brun, sort of just leading him around, sort of packing whatever she can find onto him.
And I think Skylar had headed back there with her because she has to go and I think help Mare bring back his sister's body. And I think if anyone were to try and take on that task instead of Skylar, she probably would have maybe even physically shut them away. To take that on and bring Magda back.
And Jay, what has Sierra been doing?
I think Sierra is probably with Umiko digging through some of the rubble. And she's probably also trying to like collect all the bodies of the fallen and just for whenever yeah, I kind of hear my echo right now. It's throwing me off. I'm sorry. But yeah, she's trying to collect the bodies of the fallen for whatever we decide to do to honor the dead, whether it's like a burial or like a pyre or whatever it might be. But
Okay, so I think those are really good places to start. And Kelly, do you mind if we follow up with a scene?
Mm-hmm. And so I imagine that it's just Skylar and probably Mare heading back in silence, probably, to where Naomi was still resting. To both help Naomi come back and to bring Magda back. And I imagine that Naomi is quite distraught.
I would say you get there, and as you start seeing the building approach, Mare, who has been quiet this whole time, kind of says, "Thanks for doing this. You really didn't have to."
She was my responsibility. Of course I have to help.
How are you, my sister's keeper?
The whole reason that we're here together is because Yarza asked me to look out for the two of you when he found out that I was a healer and he knew that you were going on that hunt way back in Mellowary.
I don't think that places anything on you, Skylar.
I made a promise. And he might not be with us anymore either, but I still need to do my best to fulfill that promise.
I think they'll appreciate all the work you've done so far. I mean, I know I do. And the house is close enough now. As you kind of get around the corner, Naomi is not distraught, but you can tell that she probably was a few minutes ago. right now she's just kind of been making herself busy sorting through the herbs that you left behind with her, Skylar, even though they were already organized. It's just mindless, easy to do.
And I think Skylar would recognize this behavior because it's something that she herself does constantly. She's done it several times that we've seen here too.
She looks up at both of you when you walk in and just says, "Oh, is everyone else okay?"
There's a lot of people that we've lost. Sierra and Fen and Umiko, and obviously the two of us are okay. And Jaden's okay.
Oh, good. Bless that child.
We haven't found very many other people alive, though.
Oh.
And we haven't found your brother yet, but Sierra's looking. They're looking back at camp. And Shyla's gone.
Oh.
She's been gone for quite a while. I don't know if there was anything we ever could have done.
I'm probably going to need a lot of time to process this. It's not you, of course it's not you. It's just so much has changed in this past week that I never expected.
We're trying to get camp together. I think Fen and Umiko and Sierra are back trying to figure out what they can salvage. We came to bring you and Magda back home.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Can I help in any way? And Mare just kind of is like, no, you don't need to be helping. I'll get her. And Skylar, if you want to pack up the herbs, we can head back. Naomi, can you walk okay? She kind of says, yeah, I think so. I'm feeling a lot better the longer I'm awake, so yeah.
Okay, well, if you get tired or anything, just let us know and we'll stop. But thankfully it's not too far.
Okay.
And Skylar would go to pack up her things and she knows how to do this. She doesn't even need to really look, but she's much more deliberate than normal. She's slow and kind of considers each movement that she makes as she puts her things away.
Mare kind of wraps Magda in a blanket so that her arms are kind of pinned to her side and her legs won't move around either, and just kind of like wraps her up and picks her up in his arms. And her dark hair kind of falls limply, but that's the only thing really that you can see. Her face is hidden by the blanket as well.
And Skylar just nods at the two of them and turns to head back to camp.
While picking through the rubble, I think Sierra would want to head up to Umiko. Umiko.
She just turns after she's like got so many things in her arms. She's like, yes.
And I'm kind of gonna point back to like the pile, or not pile. I'm probably not piling them up, but I'm probably like laying the bodies out like next to each other, in a line. I've collected a number of bodies, but I'm not sure how we should honor those who have passed. Where I'm from, we would normally celebrate at a funeral, but that was usually when they died of natural causes. This is a complete catastrophe. I don't know how to handle this situation.
I think, and she sort of pauses. I honored someone's death once, but that was because I knew them and I knew how they lived. So I sent them out to the water. But these are people of the forest. I suggest either send them back to the earth on which they lived, or to the sky. I've seen people create pyres and light them and stand in silence and honor them. I don't know, I'm not a person who believes in a lot of spiritual things, but I've heard the fire carries them up to the sky.
That's a wonderful idea, Umiko. Thank you for your input.
I can help. I'm not very good, but I can help.
It's good. We'll probably need all the help we can get. There's quite a lot of bodies. I don't know if now is a good time. If you don't mind me asking, was the person you lost close to you?
Yes. Very close. It was my brother. I was 7.
Right. He went missing?
Something took him.
Something
I
took him.
Didn't have a body to bury. It and she sort of like stumbles over her words a little bit. I was 7. I don't remember a lot of it.
You know, you don't have to think about that now. I'm sorry for prying.
No, it's fine. I've never spoken about it. Apart from to Brun. I don't think he quite gets it.
I don't get it. I can't relate, but I sympathize. And
sympathy is, I'm grateful for it. No one has said that to me before.
Well, I appreciate your honesty and your moment of vulnerability. I saw something in you, and for someone that seems to always be okay, it seems like you've been through quite a lot, and that shows a lot of resilience.
I never thought of it like that, but I mean, I'm fine. Like you could tell she's brushing it off more than anything. I'm fine. I've lived a life with my reindeer, so I had all the company, and now I have more. So, what about you? You've never lost anyone over And then she suddenly realizes she's accidentally going to call you old. And then she's like, in the long time you've been on this earth? And I awkwardly like taps her foot on the ground.
Well, it hasn't been that long, Umiko. I mean, really.
It's longer than I have. Like, I just wondered if I've had it in my time. I don't think you're old. I don't
Listen,
think...
I started getting grays by the age of 30. It's not like
Oh.
this is like just.
How old are you?
Oh, 20.
I know I don't understand much, but I'm 22.
Okay. You caught me. 27.
I don't care how old you are. You don't have to tell me. It doesn't matter how old you are. If anything, it makes you wiser.
I appreciate that, Umiko. But no. In my years, I have not had to deal with loss in the way that you had to. I have lost people. But not due to death.
Are you okay?
I don't know. And I don't really care to know.
You don't have to be okay. But you also don't have to talk about it. Like, she stood there with, like, arms full of all, like, this wood and, like, blankets, like, it's piled up. It doesn't seem to be weighing down on her. She's just, like, chatting to you. It seems like you don't have to tell anyone anything unless you want to.
The more time I spend with our team, with our squad. Squad. The more time I spend with all of us, the more I've wanted to open up, when that's not something that I've ever really felt before. But it's been hard to find the courage.
I understand that. I've never spoken about my brother until I still feel pretty bad about it when I yelled at Skylar.
Everyone has a story. Everyone has those weights on their chest. I've seen too many glimpses of tragedy in my time, and not from my own experiences, but from the eyes of others. And
then why do you do it?
Because it reminds me of the universal truths in this world. Suffering, that's universal. Pain, that's universal.
Do you not see happy things ever?
That is the other side. I've seen beautiful things. I've seen babies being born and families holding each other, and all people falling in love. These are all part of the human experience. And if I can take that knowledge and help bring people together, other people together, not me, of course. I would never intermingle with the others. But
You know what mingling means now.
but if I could help to bring others together, then I'll know that I've left my mark on this world. And that is something very important to me.
You have brought people together. I mean this in the nicest way. I had no clue who you were when I first met you, but our squad is now all together.
And I'm very excited for the things we'll do, but I think for now, we just need to be there for Skylar and Mare.
We do.
Which is something that I have a lot of trouble with. I'm gonna need your help, Wumiko. I'm going to need your help.
I'm not good at talking to people that much, but I can help however you want. I mean, you seem to be doing pretty good at it.
Looks like we got a new friend.
Oh, I don't know. I think I've upset Skylar. I mean, I apologize, but I still feel terrible for...
No, Skylar's lovely, just slightly tense, I think, sometimes. She's been through a lot. Other people have been through a lot, and you're both quite big personalities in a good way.
Yes, I guess we are. You know, we actually have a lot in common.
Oh, yes. I daren't say it in front of you, otherwise I feel it would spark another sort of sassy argument, but you are.
No, I know. I've told her. But for now, we should probably get back to work, and clean up as much of this as we can before Skylar returns.
Well, I'm going to go drop this off before my arms fall off. I will.
That's a wonderful idea.
And she sort of reaches over and like heaves stuff onto one arm as she's going and pats Sierra on the shoulder, just holds her on the shoulder briefly. It's like, I know you call it squad. I don't know what that means, but I know you don't want to be called friend. So I'm going to call you family instead, and you're going to have to get over it. I mean, I'll call you squad family. Again, I don't know what it means, but I can if you want me to. But I am going to go off now because I may lose an arm. And she starts like waddling off in one direction towards wherever the camp we've made up is to dump all the stuff.
When you said that you're gonna call her family, like Sierra, like her whole face just like melted, and she kind of looked like very upset. She kind of like waved your hand off. And
family's the wrong word for you, isn't it?
Oh, whatever. It's nothing. Ugh. And she'll just kind of like walk away and get back to work, and
she'll cool
like
off
very much
you.
like she does the it's nothing, like fixing her hair kind of thing. Ugh.
Cool off to you. She's like, you're lying.
No.
Looks like we got a new
Yes.
Umiko.
It's like, I'll talk to you later. She's like, if I didn't have my arms full, I'd chase you.
Yeah.
You know that.
Get back to work.
Yep, doing it now. And she'll walk off in the other direction.
Fen, how's your progress been going?
I think it's been kind of hit or miss. Like there's been hey, hi Raiders. So there's a lot of stuff around, but a lot of it is also burned and or still hot and not really like suitable for shelters necessarily. But I think I've found some of the like cabin things that are still mostly intact that I've just like been airing out to try and get like any smoke out and stuff and trying to make them more comfortable. And also any openings not pointed at the wreckage of the rest of the camp, more open towards like the woods and patches of flowers and stuff. And I think, I don't know, well, how many people did we find like alive?
You found 9 people.
Okay. So I don't think this would have taken all that long, and when I run out of stuff to do, really, like to keep hands busy, I just sort of walk into the woods a bit and I'm just staring.
As you kind of wander off into the woods, you see Jaden making his way back towards you. And he has a little basket that's full of berries. Oh, hey, Finn. How are things going? Any better?
Well, found some more people. Got some shelter, at least for the night. I don't know if it's... It'll be up to all of you people who lived here, but I probably wouldn't want to rebuild in the same place that so many people died.
Yeah, I don't want to, but I haven't talked to anybody about it yet. I just went and got some berries in case, they might be hungry.
Sure, you'll be welcome.
We'll think about it. At least it's not everyone. That's a terrible thing to say, isn't it?
Yes, but given the circumstance. How do you normally care for your fallen? I know it's not the same everywhere.
Yeah, we have kind of a couple marked graves a bit south of here, but we've never had to bury this many people before.
Either way, I just want to help how I can.
I want to do
Looks
the
like we
same.
got a
If
new
there's
friend.
anything you need, and I'll try to, keep an ear out for if anyone else needs something too, but I'm willing to do whatever I can. I'm not just a kid, like Sierra said, I can help. I can do things.
Where'd you find these berries? I could go and get some more too. I think a little sweetness would help.
Yeah, sure. If you follow the brook down a little bit of a ways, and then when you see a tall tree with like a big knot in it that an owl could totally sit in, you just veer off a little bit to the right and you'll find a lot of bushes. Do you have a basket? Do you need something to carry it?
Probably. Yeah.
He at that kind of like dashes back off to the encampment, back holding something, and it like looked like it had a hole in it, but he stuffed like a piece of cloth in so that you can't see it anymore, and like, hope this will hold.
Thanks. I know Umiko and Sierra are gathering more supplies, so maybe they could use a hand organizing things.
Yeah, okay. Good luck finding berries. And then he kind of dashes back towards the encampment again.
That's what I'm going off to do, because I need something to do.
Okay. So as you kind of go off and wander looking for berries, Skylar and Mare arrive back with Magda. Naomi is she's holding up okay. She seems tired now, but yeah.
And I think so we'll see the bodies kind of laid out. And she'll kind of guide Mare over there to lay Magda down as well.
He does, and he kind of unrolls the blanket a little bit so that he can move her to look a little bit more peaceful. He brushes the hair out of her face and just kind of rests his hand on her cheek for a little bit before nodding and standing up.
And Skylar's gonna look across who they've found, and does she see her brother-in-law among the dead?
She does not.
I don't think she'll turn to try and find whoever's closest to check in, basically.
Kiara's
And so-
probably nearby, like putting the bodies out. How are you holding up, Skylar?
I don't even know.
You don't have to know. You don't have to know.
I'm tired. And I'm hungry.
Why don't you... What? Do we have a fire going? Can someone get a fire going? And I'm gonna kind of like motion to like either like Fen or Umiko.
Oh no, because Jaden is wanting to be so helpful, you say, can we get a fire going? And he like just jumps into action.
Yes, Jaden will start a fire, and you should sit down by that fire and rest. You should not be pushing yourself right now. Emotional trauma has physical tolls.
Have we decided what we're going to do with them? In a perfect world, I'd love to bring Shyla back to be buried with my parents, but that's not going to happen.
No, that will unfortunately not be possible. But we do have some options. I was discussing with Umiko earlier, and she said that she'd be willing to help with either a ocean burial or a funeral pyre.
Okay.
So land or sea, there seems our options are.
Well, I feel like we're a little far from the sea to bring all of these people there.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, there is that lake, river. There is that river.
Yeah.
But whatever you'd prefer, we'll figure it out.
What time of day is it?
Y'all managed to get back. Because you woke up to see the smoke at dawn. It took you about 2 hours to get back, and last week probably spanned an hour in itself. So I would say it's around lunchtime. The sun is high in the sky.
And Skylar just look at Sierra like, you're right. I should sit. I tapped into the Dynama quite a bit there. Not that it ended up being useful, but
You did what you thought you could.
and I did
You
what I
tried
thought I
your
could, and I
best.
thought wrong.
You tried. That counts for something.
Yeah.
And we're all trying. we're all trying.
And I don't think I properly said thank you for your help and for putting up with my behavior earlier. Shyla always said I had a temper.
You do have a temper. She was not wrong. But
That's if I was going to bury her with my parents, that's what it would say. She wasn't wrong. That's Shyla in a nutshell.
But you should not be apologizing to me, Skylar. We both know that as good as I am with people and as much as people like me, after the shininess wears off, I know I'm not the easiest to spend time with, so don't feel bad for getting frustrated with me. I should have been more considerate.
But serious question though, can the shiny wear off? Like, I mean, you literally.
No, absolutely not. It does not.
I didn't think so. I didn't think that was possible. I mean, like,
No.
Shine for days, right?
Shine. Yeah, no, that's kind of like built in. It's part of the
Eventually,
part of
you're
the
gonna
game.
have to explain that.
Your guess is as good as mine. Dynamo works in mysterious ways, Skylar.
Maybe after we get through all of this and get through today and tomorrow, maybe that should be our next project.
Yes.
Figuring out why the Soul Whisperer glows.
Perhaps. I think we should stick to saving the world for now. Seems that there's a lot we need to save and also a lot to fight for.
Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna go take that rest now.
Yeah, no, No, for sure. You do what you need to do, and it looks like Jaden has started the fire, so
Hopefully he found snacks.
I think Umiko was looking for something. I don't know if that included snacks. I really hope so too.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And I think
Well,
Skylar would just kind of nod and turn to head over to the fire. Probably try and find a less roasted log or something to sit on for a while.
Yeah, you're able to find something like that.
Are the other people kind of that we've found alive gathering?
Yeah, you've kind of gathered them in a location on the outskirts of camp, and they've been kind of huddled together. There's a lot to process, and there's a lot of grief in that little corner of the camp. Not like this camp isn't flooded with grief anyway, but yeah, they're all kind of huddled together, talking amongst themselves.
Is Skylar's brother-in-law with them? And she's getting kind of like, she's concerned about that they haven't found him yet, but she's so tired. She's like, sit first, questions later.
I think after walking kind of in the direction that Jaden pointed into, I think Fen has found some berries, but that wasn't really the point. It was more just to like get away for a bit, and actually, I think while picking some of these berries, they kind of like prick a finger on like some thorns or something. I'm just like, and sitting back and just looking up at the trees. You couldn't give me anything more useful. Not that I listened to you. I didn't hear you.
Protect yourself.
I was looking around. Is there anything? But I guess any sign of or sounds of anything approaching. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Go back to more berries.
Protect yourself.
I'll be more careful about berries. And not very cautiously avoiding any further little thorns and things, and run out of space eventually and head back. And kind of doing a sweep of the area at the same time, like doing my own sort of patrol. And who knows what might come along and scavenge.
Yep.
Might see Umiko walking past. Not that she can't see where she's going. She knows there's a general direction, but she's carrying so much stuff. She's kind of just walking back in the direction where she knows we've set up like a camp or something. And I'd say her arms are full of probably blankets, wood for fire, if she's found any food, then she would have. She's literally gone and started piling on random things. And Bryn's probably trailing behind her, also full.
If you pass by, I would just be like, can I help with any of that?
Oh, Ven, is
At
that
least
you?
point-
Like, she's sort of
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
fix her head.
yeah, it's me.
Yeah, there's something on the top that I think I am going to drop. If you could just, thank you. She sort of like bends down slightly. She's like, oh, okay. You haven't seen Sierra going this way, have you? I think I made her a little bit mad towards the end.
Not this way, no.
You see, you might see Sierra like in the distance, like now she's like angrily chucking the bodies, like she's just like,
Oh my god.
like she's not just like placing the bodies, but now she's like kind of throwing them.
It's like,
It's
yes,
like,
I definitely pissed her off.
I don't know if that's all you. She's just kind of like that sometimes.
I mean, I was trying to help, but like she sort of winces as she sees her throw another one. Like, maybe I should
Ugh.
go over.
Yeah. I don't think it's a one-person job anyway.
Yeah.
As well.
I mean, she did want my help, but now I'm starting to think, will she now? But
I don't know. Can you see where you're going? Do you
just
want
about,
to
if I crook my neck at this angle, I can just about see the camp.
All right, well, you're not far. Are you sure I can't take any more of this stuff?
I think Brun's got most of it, and you probably turn around and Brun is also piled up. It's mostly
That's fair.
wood now for like to keep fires going, or if we were building something to just try and get a bit of a shelter. So
Mm.
You can take some if you want, but just don't take anything from the middle or the bottom.
All right. He looks like he's doing fine. Anywhere you want me to put this? What is it that I'm holding, by the way?
It's literally probably one of the lightest things on there, which is like a blanket, like a couple of blankets, like rolled up and she's tied up together. So just give them to whoever needs them.
All right.
I may have got too much.
Never too much. We'll find a use for them. And if not, someone else will.
That is a good way to look at it. And she's gonna start, like, you see a sort of a cautious wobble to one side, and then she starts to make her way back towards the camp. And she's just like, sort of pauses. Like, are you picking berries?
Yeah. Jaden found some, and I thought I could get some more.
I wonder if you can grow them. Or is
I
that
don't
weird?
see why not.
Maybe. I
We're
don't know.
trying.
We could ask him. It'd save you. She sort of looks down at your hand where you've like, I guess it'd save you hurting yourself on the bush.
I think the bush did more damage than anything else today. All right. Well, good luck. Don't run into any trees. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
these out
I'm
and
not
help.
making any promises, and you sort of see us stagger off and sort of wobble towards the camp.
Jen's keeping an eye
Yeah.
on her, just like.
See her walk sideways a couple of times, not a straight line.
Just like as they're walking one way, because going the other way. Just like,
Left.
Okay,
Go to the left.
yeah. Okay, she's fine. And I'm gonna go hand out these blankets to our party of survivors. Make sure they're comfortable, and also leave these berries with them.
I think you would see Skylar, and I think she's actually probably like curled up near this fire, just on the grass and like passed out. Like,
Oh.
like you can almost see in the soot that's covering her where she was crying again. And she just like napping where she sat, man.
Yeah, with the little bit of cloth that was at the bottom of the basket, I'm gonna save a couple or like a good handful of the berries and just sort of like tie it very loosely and just put it next to Skylar for when she wakes up. And go to ask Seer. I don't want to intrude. You got this.
I'm a little busy, if you can't tell.
I'm asking if you want to be less busy.
And yeah. Oh, I'm so tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, my wrists.
Yeah. This looks like a pile. Is there an order to how you're dealing with this?
Well, yes. The ones that I found first are all the way over there, and then the ones that I found more recent are over here. And they're kind of lined up in order that I found them.
All right.
So
Jaden says they normally bury their dead. I remember seeing the little graveyard not far off, but this is a lot.
This is a lot to bury. It feels like somehow disrespectful if we don't, but at the same time, we could be here for days trying to dig all these graves. And who knows where those monsters are going next.
I don't know, it seems a little tasteless to burn them, but I think it's our option.
I mean, we should probably consult with the survivors to make sure that they're okay with it first. And I know that Skylar said that she seemed to be open to the ways of honoring the dead. Did you have a specific funerary practice where you came from?
Not really. I haven't buried many people. Just the one, really. But wasn't anything big, fancy. We did plant a tree over.
That's beautiful. Maybe we can do a little bit of everything. Sounds like everyone has their own practices, and I think there might be a way to make everyone happy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely enough bodies go around. Oh no, that does not sound. That's phrasing is tricky. It's a tricky one with the phrasing on that one. Yeah. But while we're here, Fen, I just have a question about how you feel about me. I've noticed that there's been some aggression, to say the least. If you have a problem with me, we should probably air this out now so as not to get in the way of things during the time of mourning. And as we go to save the world following the morning.
See, you're great when you're like this. When you're being real. And I don't know. I'm never really sure what it is you want.
I wish I was. I apologize if I've ever made you feel uncomfortable. If you have something specific that I've said that has hurt you, then I can apologize for that too. But it's next time, why don't you tell me if I say something that puts you off? So and then we can address that then and there. Because right now it feels like I'm sorry, but I'm not sure what for. I'm just being me. So just something to think about.
Yeah. I'll point it out next time. It's not a good time for anyone, I don't think.
No.
But I got nothing against you. I'm not gonna abandon you. That's I guess what my confusion was. Why did you think that Emiko, when she ran to help the other people that we saw, abandon us?
I felt threatened by a scary robot, and I've seen her and how she takes those things down with her water, and I didn't want to die. And I don't want to die. So I wanted her to protect me. I like being protected. I always make sure that I usually have a valid but seeing as to the fact that no one knows where he might be, he's probably dead in Mellowary somewhere. I need you all to some extent. And I wasn't exactly sure where she was going. So there was a lot of things happening in that moment. It was a very stressful moment for all of us. We were up at the top of a building, and heights are not my thing. They're not my thing. So there was just a lot of things happening.
I am sorry I dropped you. I didn't mean to do that.
That's okay. You held your weight. You held my weight, which is not that much, but you held weight that day. So you did your end of the bargain.
All right. I think you ought to believe in us, to not leave you. And I mean, maybe that's hard, but
there have been very few people that I've been able to trust in my time, and I can assure you I trust all of you more than I've trusted almost anyone else in my life. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
did something like that happen before?
Yeah, I mean, we've all had hard times. Everyone's struggled. We all struggle. We should probably we should consult. We should talk to the survivors. We should talk to the survivors and see what the plan is.
If she's going to like turn away to like leave and do just that, Finn's just gonna reach out, just gently hold her shoulder, just be like, I promise, none of us are gonna leave you.
And I appreciate that. Onwards.
Jaden may be over now that he's gotten this fire going. It's decently sized, but it's very well contained, which I think is, there are a couple of people who are very hesitant to approach the fire right now, and I can't really blame them.
Yeah. Got some good rocks around it. Okay. Have any of us gone, like, I know Yumiko was going for food in general, but did that include hunting, or is that something I could go in?
I think she was going to go hunting, but then got distracted by picking up lots of bits, so she would have just been trying to find stuff.
That's fair.
And hunt. But she probably would head back out as soon as she had to try and do something similar.
Might, well, look and see how Mari's doing before inviting him along, but you might be up for that. I don't know.
Yeah, Mare is kind of over with the dead, and just kind of like, it's hard to tell exactly what he's doing. He might be praying.
Well, I'm gonna leave him be then. I guess see if anyone else wanted to go.
Skylar is now awake
Stuff.
by the fire, and she is covered in like bluish purple mess from these berries that she just.
Me walking by, and I'll just be like, "All right, you're hungry. I'm glad you found those." Jaden found some too. He's probably passed them out by now, but I wanted to make sure you had some.
Thank you.
We're going. Well, I am. Maybe we go. We're gonna go try and find some more substantial food.
Oh,
for us.
I mean, I can try and help. I mean,
I know you should stay here.
But you should look for this, and she like starts describing different like edible like bark to you.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
Like gives you like a list of like, this is edible tree bark. You want to get that one. You don't want to touch that one. You want to get like this kind of plant. If you dig it up, you can eat the root, but you don't want to eat the plant. And like it just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Okay. I think I remember 3 of those things, but I will try my best.
I mean, just don't get lost.
I don't think we're going far.
Okay.
Maybe there's some fish in that pond. Or river. I don't know.
I was going to say, Umiko, if you see her, she's probably found something and she wants to go back to that river to see if she can catch some fish or something, as that's what she's just used to doing.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try and like fashion a spear or something like that, because claw is not so great for hunting. At least that could be something like throwable or pocket fish.
She sort of sees you and she's got like this bucket, like this like whether she's found it in the rubble, it's probably got a big dent in it, and she's like, are you going hunting too? Well, I'm going fishing, but
how's that going?
Well, I'm off now, so I'm gonna go and see what I can get.
I thought you were already in the pond. Like I've been trying.
Yeah, she'll probably then be in like this river pond, like up to her waist, and you can see her with her staff going round. And if she doesn't see you, she sort of puts the staff aside and starts just moving the water and like picking the fish out, but not wanting people to see that that's what she's doing. She's like, as you can hear her apologizing to the fish. She's like, I'm sorry, I only take a few of you. As she sort of goes around, sort of effectively controlling the water around them and putting them in a bucket. And probably then sticks them out on the side in this bucket.
Well, that worked well.
And then she turns, I was like holding this fish almost like, I'm not very good at fishing unless it's like this. My brother always told me you should use a fishing rod, you should use a spear, but I don't understand why when this is less painful for the fish.
You use what you have.
It's why he gave me the stuff, but she's still like holding this fish like this doesn't hurt them as much.
Yeah. Well, that seems like a lot of fish, but do you think we should get some more? I don't want to go too far, but also there's a lot of people to feed.
Well, I've got some fish. I know how to cook up like almost like the pond weed, but I have a feeling people aren't going to like that. It might put them off if I put it with the fish. It just looks, I don't know.
Kind of mushy.
Yeah. She's sort of she's standing awkwardly in the middle of this like lake up to past her waist, just like what are you going to go get?
Well, I was gonna try and find like some rabbits or ducks or something. Hell, if I could find a goose and actually like nab it, that would be great. Revenge.
I mean, I will stand behind you and I will root for you, but I'm not going anywhere near a goose.
That's fair. Skylar also told me about some tree bark and plants that are good to eat. I remember a few of them. She said a lot of things.
Do you know exactly what you're looking for? Because I know
you're
wrong.
Yeah. I'll just like describe a couple of them that I managed to remember. I know I've seen some of the like leafy things. I'm just gonna call them like wild radishes. I know I've seen some of those leaves, and I've had those before, so I've seen them around. I don't know about the rest, but if you come across any other animals nearby,
mushrooms.
That's good. All right, well,
I can do that. And she sort of picks up a bucket and wades out of this river. And again, Brun is there. And she's probably at this point, because Brun has been carrying so much, created something where she can hang the things off of Brun either side and probably puts this bucket of fish.
I was just imagining hanging it on his like horns, but that would be so unbalanced.
Just like she still put some water in the bucket just so they can swim around.
Live a little longer.
She's in there because she feels really bad about it. And if you look in the bucket, you can see just some like mud crabs and stuff as well, like the bigger ones. They're quite tasty. Right. Mushrooms and bark. Okay. And she starts sort of walking off, sort of clicks to Brun to follow.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to find much in the way of wildlife because fire, they scatter. So I think that was like the intention was just like, ah, yes, I will go hunting. Wait, that probably won't work. So I'm gonna settle more for plants and bark and things. But who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky.
Yeah, Omoko will just start like looking. She probably actually has no clue what kind of bark she's looking for, so very regularly she's like looking and going, this one, or this one, like just she's picking.
At some point, she points to some mushroom that Skylar said, and all you hear is like Skylar's voice in your head going, "Under no circumstances do you touch that one."
Not that one. Don't even touch it. Don't even look at it.
And Omoko will just gather sort of what she's been told, but because she doesn't know what it is, she's quite nervous about it. She checks every single thing with Fen, like, is this okay? Is this okay? So no matter what she picks up, she checks it.
We'll double check it with Skylar before we... I don't know if you even cook this stuff. Do you just eat it? Anyway,
Ooey. Like she's holding up this piece of bark and like sniffing it, like maybe it goes with fish.
Maybe. All right. Well,
did you talk to Sierra?
Yeah.
She's still mad. She was throwing them quite hard.
I'm not really sure. I think that may be how she deals with grief.
If I'm honest, this is one of the first time I've seen people deal with grief, so I don't understand it. I think I tried to make it better and made it worse.
I don't think there's any right way to do it. It's always different for everybody. And
No, but I'm pretty sure that was a wrong way. From like, she's sort of like, the way
what did you say?
I called her family. And she pushed me away. I don't know. I'm not good with people. You're all the first lot I've seen. Well, not seen. There's the annoying woman over the road, but I've like actually interacted with when I wasn't selling the reindeer or. No, that's it. Actually, that's it. That's literally it. I've not. I just hope she knows I didn't mean any harm by it.
I don't think that's what she was upset about. I'm not at you anyway.
People are confusing.
Yeah, we are.
I don't get it. Hopefully I will one day. Or at least be better at it.
I think it comes with practice.
I've got a lot of catching up to do. I don't think talking to reindeer is practice. They don't really talk back. Bryn does, but not really.
Side eye.
Yeah. Like second guessing everything now.
You never know. Everybody's magic. I don't know anymore.
Like he gestures, he snorts and makes noises. He doesn't say hello.
Well, I mean, he seems to understand more than the average reindeer. But maybe that's just because he knows you.
Oh, that's because I've had him since I was teeny tiny.
That is a long-lived reindeer.
He's a very special reindeer.
It seems like it. Well, supposed to bring this back. I don't expect to find much else, but we could always come get more fish if we need it.
There's a lot of fish. They can't run from fire, anyway.
Or you, it seems.
Or me, which I do feel a little bad about, but people are hungry and people are injured, so I won't lie, I'm not looking forward to the bark.
You don't have to eat the bark.
I'm not going to eat the bark. I'm not going to eat it. I mean, does she brew it? Does she bake it? What do you do with it? Do you just chew it? I don't understand. Like having a beaver.
I know willow bark helps with pain, but
It does?
yeah, if you chew on it, it's kind of bitter, but it's something my mama told me about, and it works.
Your mom taught you that?
Hmm.
Oh, did she teach you about other trees and plants for that sort of thing?
She mostly pointed out the ones that would like make you itch if you touch them, or the ones that
I know those. I found
are
that.
like sharp and yeah.
Mm,
You do it once, you never do it again.
I'll do it again. What? Tell me if I'm intruding. Where is your mother?
As far as I know, she's still home.
Oh, that's nice.
It was mostly standing, at least from what Skylar showed. I gave that little window thing. That was.
You saw your home, too? But she's okay. Oh, good. And Emma basically stands there incredibly awkwardly because she now doesn't know what to say. And she's sort of... So, we should cook this fish.
Alright, I'm gonna just walk in that direction.
Let's go cook the fish. And she's like, come on, Brun. And sort of has attached another sort of like, there's like a leather bag on the side of him. It's probably pinched it from someone just to fill up whatever they find. Head back.
Sierra, what have you been doing this time?
Sorry, was that Sierra?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Well, besides fangirling over Fenico, no, Sierra went up to the group of survivors, and she wants to get an idea of like how they practice burial, or like not necessarily burial, but like how they practice, or I'm sorry. No, she's trying to figure out if what they'd be open to in terms of funeral rites. That's like if they'd be open to burning, or if they'd be open to like an ocean burial, or not ocean necessarily, but water.
Mare, he kind of has his head in his hands and he's just like, I mean, I see the irony in it, but we're not close to a very big body of water. And yeah, if we tried to bury so many bodies just by digging graves, we'd exhaust ourselves, and who knows if the threat is still out there or coming back. As great as the irony is, it might be best to burn them.
I would have to agree. I think that's the way to go.
I hate it, right? Like, I hate it. But I think it's our only option.
I have a foot cramp. It's driving me crazy right now. Yes. Wow. So yes, I think we should we should burn them, and we should do that tonight. If we wait too long, I don't think anyone wants to see what that would do to how that would affect the fallen. We should send them off while they're still somewhat intact.
Do you want to talk to Skylar about it, or should I?
I'll talk to Skylar. I'll talk to Skylar. Thank you, Mari. And I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Sierra's probably gonna then make her way back over to Skylar. How was your nap, Skylar? Did you rest well?
I guess so. I still feel really tired, but I think the sounds of my own stomach woke me up, you know?
I can see that you had quite the meal.
You hear like a
Oh,
yeah.
Here you go. And she Sierra hands you like a rag from like a tissue type thing, you know, to wipe your mouth.
Oh, am I? Oh, sorry. I'm not the cleanest eater all the time.
Oh,
I'm not used to, being around people really, so nobody has really ever cared.
what did you do before all this, if you don't mind me asking? If you seem to be, people seem to like you, so I'm surprised that you didn't spend much time around people.
Well, I mean, I spent time around lots of people, but I was no one set of people for very long. I mean, you know everything with
Yeah.
my sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just kind of bounced after all of that happened. I just wanted to help people, and so I've seen quite a bit of the world, and I guess I can check this scary, crappy corner of it off the list too. And I just kind of went from village to village and learning what I could about healing and learning more about the Dynama, and then just helping people out. And I'd drop some willow bark tea over here, do a little bit of Dynama wiggle waggle over there, and people would let me, sleep in the barn overnight and give me something to eat, and then I'd go to the next place that needed me. So, if you're not staying around people for very long, it's not like you give a crap if you're, purple for part of it.
It shocks me every time I talk to you how much we really do have in common. That sounds so much like what I... that sounds so much like my experience before we found each other. That is, I did much of the same, traveling around and trying to help people when I could. Of course I wasn't staying in barns, I was staying in fine inns, and usually like the mayor would welcome me, and occasionally the mayor would have a guest room and I'd stay in there, and depending on the town, of course. But
I imagine you had to get close with you had that assistant person, right?
Yes. No. We were not close.
Oh. My bad.
I trusted them to protect me on the road. And that was all I trusted them for. So conversation was at a minimum. But I understand your desire to see the world. And I have the same desire. And it looks like we might have the opportunity to do that together. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, maybe. Although since we're just, squad after we go deal with the whole saving the world thing, what do you see us doing next? Or
one thing at a time. That's a ways off. We have a lot of work to do. Ideally, after we become famous throughout the land for saving the land, then we'll probably be regarded as leaders, and maybe we can maybe then we can make change for the better and organize ourselves into a proper society.
that sounds like a lot of power and a lot of responsibility.
Doesn't it? Oh my gosh, I just get the chills thinking about it.
Oh boy. I get the chills too, but I don't think they're the same kind of chills that you're getting.
When you said power, like Sierra glowed a little bit, like more than usual.
What's so wrong that we need to change?
Well, right now, many encampments and villages still have this brutish lifestyle, but those of the old world clearly had great knowledge and great capabilities, and we should reclaim that. We should bring our civilization back to what it once was.
I understand wanting to clearly they had abilities that we don't have. We found that indoor pond or whatever. That was weird. And that would be nice to have. I could, not that I have anywhere to put one, but sorry, I digress. But there's something really nice about the way we live. I grew up in a small town. I didn't even live in town. I lived in a cabin in the woods. But we were happy. And up until the end, we were healthy. And it was a good life. I wouldn't mind going back to that. All of this, I wonder if the people that came before us would have wanted to keep it, or if they found relief when they didn't have to deal with all of it anymore.
No. You clearly don't understand. There's nothing to be gained from sitting at home with your so-called family, and that you're not making real change. You're not affecting the world. You're just existing and consuming. And the society before us, they created and they built and they made these towering skyscrapers that I refuse to climb but they did marvelous things. And what have we done? What do we do sitting at home? Ugh.
I mean, you're saying that they made all these marvelous things, but I see a lot of waste. I don't need all of this. I don't need all those random things we saw in those houses that don't even seem to have any purpose. I can help people with my bag and my hands. And I can make change that way. I can save lives. And everything here, all of this stuff, something must have went wrong to cause it all to crumble. I think if we want to aim for that, we need to aim to do better. Not just do what they did.
Maybe there's a happy medium. In fact, not a happy medium. You're right. We should do better. Do everything that they did and more, greater, grander.
I think you're kind of missing my point here.
No, I understand what you're saying, and
How about I think we can agree on better and smarter.
Smarter.
Yeah.
Now, ideally, this future doesn't. You say we don't need things, material objects, but what's the difference in needing a fancy robe versus needing a sister?
And Skylar immediately starts to cry.
Wait, no.
Everyone.
No. I'm
Sierra is this terrible of a person, but Jay is not.
People. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. That came out wrong. What I meant.
I know that you say silly things sometimes.
Skylar, I say silly things. I say very silly things at times. There's been what I clearly meant is that people can hurt you. And a new pair of shoes cannot. Unless it has a broken heel, then it can definitely hurt you.
Well, I mean, I feel like I mean, I feel like just as much as anyone, I know that people can hurt you. But they can also bring you a lot of joy and a lot of peace. And just like with these buildings where there's a give and a take, like maybe they're scary all the way up at the top, but the climb and the view from the top is really worth it.
Can't relate.
Maybe that was a bad analogy. What I mean is, you take the good with the bad. Yeah, Shyla was a pain in the ass. She always had been. But before we had our falling out, all I remember from us as kids was fun and happiness and memories that I'm gonna have forever now that she's gone. And I look at you guys, and I would hate to lose you. You have enriched my life so much. I mean, Sierra. Oh no, my blazer!
Where's your blazer? Where's your blazer?
Oh, it was in the cabin. I was gonna say that you... I mean...
Oh no, this is a
all the
catastrophe.
time you've taught me how to dress, and I realized that my blazer is gone.
Oh, this is a nightmare. How could anything be worse than this?
Oh no.
Well, I'm sure we'll find it. I'm sure we'll find it eventually. But
what I meant to say was, even though you're annoying, I've learned a lot from you, and having you around has been nice. And I mean, look at Fen and Umiko. You know, every time they wander off into the woods together, they come back smiling.
no, I have some theories about that.
But I mean, people enrich your life.
Yes, they do for a time. They do for a time. But it's the ups and the downs and the... I don't know. I'm not there yet.
Well, one day at a time, right?
Yeah. One day at a time. Agreed. That we can all agree on. Now.
And I feel like this would be a good time for Fen and Umiko to come back from the woods smiling.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Literally, Umiko is, because she's got a bucket of fish. She's genuinely happy about this.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I got
So,
this.
I found some of these plants and bark and stuff. Please check them before we eat any of it, because, yeah.
That's a pretty good idea. And Skylar kind of goes up to the basket or whatever you're carrying all this in, and you just see her throwing things away, like, nope, nope, nope. There's one point where she takes the, like, tissue that Sierra had given her that she has subsequently covered in berry juice and blown her nose. and she takes the tissue and she, like, very, like, delicately, like, grabs one of them and bundles it up and throws it into the fire.
Not that one.
But there's like a good chunk of stuff left, and she's like, "Oh, this bark is perfect, and we can fry it and make tea."
I'll take.
All right. Yeah, we were wondering how any of this becomes food.
Well, I mean, you take the bark and you just boil it in some water, and it leaves like this kind of, I mean, it's like earthy flavor, but it's like some decent tea. And then you like cut the rest of it into strips, and you fry it with some, you know, you didn't find
Fish.
a goose, did you?
No.
No.
I've got fish though, and she sort of holds up this like dented bucket. Just
Fish have fat, right? You just fry it with some fat, and then you just eat it. It's
What?
like frying potatoes.
I mean, we can put it in the same pan,
Yeah.
not on the fish, but like to the side. Like, okay, doesn't want this bark. Like,
I mean, it doesn't really taste like anything. It's just calories.
Well, I'm going to cook the fish. And she starts sort of getting to work on like sorting the fish out and prepping them, and starts putting the sticks in the ground so that they're over the fire. And they start to cook. And she sort of sits cross-legged, just working away to get it all done.
Right
Yeah,
now,
I mean-
Sierra's probably like working with whoever is like whichever survivors are willing to help, and probably like Mare, and like to assemble like a really large pyre.
Yeah, I'm not good with like utensils, so do not trust Fen with a knife unless it's to stab something. So I think Fen will probably be helping with that, because we did get, or at least Dimiko got a lot of wood that she brought back with Bryn. So there's that, because bodies don't burn easily. Wood does.
And I think Skylar is back to the body pile, very comfortably looking like she is taking those feelings and shoving them down into her bag. And she's almost like whistling a little as she's like chopping up this like tree bark and roasting it over a fire, and she just asked Umiko to make some water, and she's boiling a big thing of tea and finding like broken cups, and maybe even like going into the woods and finding some big leaves to use.
Umiko's there sort of generating like this water for her, sort of just while she's like turning the fish, just with one hand she's slowly filling up this.
And I think it's like a beautiful thing, because they're both used to working alone, but they're also both used to cooking like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like,
yeah, but like there's literally one hand, like with one hand Umiko's doing her thing, and with the other she's helping Skylar, even if it is just filling up the water pot over the fire. And she's just sort of like, you okay? How are you holding up?
I mean, I just had a really interesting talk with Sierra.
What kind of interesting talk?
I don't know. I don't know if she's power hungry or progress hungry. I don't know. She's hungry for something.
I mean, she has a lot of ambition.
Yes. Ambitious. That is a good word. I mean, she's a good person. Sometimes I think she, kind of blinders on, kind of straight ahead kind of thing, but
She's been on her own for a while.
yeah, I don't think she really knows what it means to. I don't know if a lot of people have cared about Sierra in a way that she deserves.
I don't think so either. I think that's why we are her squad. And like Umiko's really trying to use the word squad now.
Oh no. Alice froze in the worst face.
It happened again?
And the face was
Ow.
Why does this
excellent.
happen to me every single time? Oh my god, I've just seen
Very
the face.
funny.
Oh my god.
Serious faces, guys. Serious faces.
Don't do that. You'll make me laugh again.
I need to be less expressive because it just
So
backfired.
funny. That was so funny.
Okay. Where were we?
I don't know. What was I saying?
No one's ever loved Sierra like she deserves. That's why we're her squad.
Yeah, it's just, I don't call it anything else though.
Yeah, I mean, I tried the whole like friend word. I feel like F words are not great with Sierra. She doesn't seem to like them very much.
Friend,
There was
family,
fall.
fall. Yeah, maybe we should just avoid them altogether.
Yeah. Just
It's...
the letter F, not brought to you by Sierra.
Oh god, it's been clipped. Damn it, potato like. So, and Omako sort of rotates the fish again and is just so once everything's done here, what are we going to do?
We have to find the people that did this.
I know, but I mean after that, when everything is done, is everyone going to go away? Like separate?
I don't know. I mean, I asked Sierra the same question, and she just kind of did, you know, the like, oh, we'll deal with that later thing. I'd rather not. I mean, I've lost enough family. I'd like to keep this one.
I don't want to go back. There's nothing there.
But
And-
like, same.
To be honest, it's nice talking to people.
It's weird talking to the same people 2 days in a row. But it's nice, yeah.
I don't want to. I miss my reindeer. And I love Brun. But this has been nice. Not all the bad things and everything, but I mean the actual, you know, getting to talk to people. I don't think I want that to go away. I know I can be awkward, I know that, but I know I could also learn. I know I could learn how to be better at it and not use the F word like around Sierra and stuff like that, but I know
You know what mingling is now?
I do know what mingling is now. I really remembered that word, and maybe if I mingle more, I'd be better at it. I can learn. I'm a quick learner, I think.
Yeah. I definitely think, I mean, goodness, those first couple of days when we were together, I think you said like a whole 6 words to me, and now we've had like 6 or 7 sentences.
Well, I'd go days without talking, so that was quite chatty for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you don't want to go in another direction, I'm happy to go with you. All of you.
Yeah. You know, maybe at the end of this, we just
I don't mind where.
pick a direction and go.
I've never done that before.
That's all I've done for years. It's kind of fun. I wouldn't have met all of you if I hadn't just kind of wandered into Melbury one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
That could be fun.
I think the food's ready.
Oh god, like she sort of turns over and the fish is like fairly blackened on one side and she sort of starts waving it around to like, pull it off, and she sort of looks at the fish and sort of slides it off of the stick and starts just portioning all of this fish up and handing it around, and then just hands some to Skylar. I should go give some to the others as well.
Don't forget to give them some bark.
Yeah, just pop it on the side here. And like she's literally just got for both Ven and Sierra, it's like some flat stones that she's found and just put the fish on with some bark on the side. And she's gonna stand up and look around and try and find them.
Yeah,
That looks
far.
That
like
looks
a back and forth with bits of wood and whatnot. That
Yeah, she sort of like almost hurries over food before it gets cold.
oh, thanks.
That looks
Good. Like she's now slightly awkward around Sierra because she doesn't know what she's.
We're both like looking at Sarah.
nutritious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think that's what it is. It's fish, but yes. She doesn't know what nutritious means.
Well,
Do you need any help or?
no, I think we're just about done. Maybe we should eat first and then do the pyre, because I don't know if anyone would want to eat.
No,
while...
that's better first.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I'll head over to the fire. That
enjoy. Like, and she sort of awkwardly leaves to go get her own food. Probably goes and plonks herself back next to Skylar.
yeah, I'll mosey over that way.
Yeah, me too. A toast.
Piece of bark.
It's like,
Leaf of tea.
or like
There's tea.
a fish like,
Yeah, I'm holding a thing of tea. A
The
toast.
one intact cup that we
The
found.
one. There was like probably like a chip in it, like a big chip in it. To the fallen.
to the fallen.
To the fallen.
Now,
Fallen.
I hope that as a group we can grow from this.
I mean, I think we've learned quite a bit from each other already. And we've got a big day ahead of us tomorrow.
A big day. A long journey. While we're all here, I'd like to address something. It seems that all of you recently have taken an interest in my past and my feelings, and I haven't ever spoken about my past. I'm so used to being on the road and asking others questions about theirs and telling them their future, and it's rare that I talk of myself in that context. I mean, I talk about myself quite often, as you all know.
There was a look. I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Growing up, my parents treated me like cattle for breeding. They raised me to be smart. They raised me to take care of myself, have good hygiene, and it was all in an effort it was all with the expectation that one day I would get married and have a child and become a mother and make them a grandmother. And they saw that as my role in life. One day I fell in love, and it was the happiest day of their lives because they saw a future for me as a mom. There was a man who I loved very dearly. Not dissimilar from me, he also had big ambitions, and he wanted to become the mayor of our town. And there was an expectation that I would start a family from him too. Everyone now, my parents and my love, telling me what I was supposed to do. They all told me, they told me my role in this world. And I couldn't stand it. I was suffocating. I didn't want to have a child. Or maybe I did, and at one point, and then all this pressure made a spite fester within me. Either way, at that point, I couldn't bear the thought of bearing children. And so I ran against my husband to become mayor, and I won. Would you believe it? I won. They told me I was going to be the mayor. But I didn't want to be the mayor. I just wanted to prove everyone wrong and prove to them that I could be whatever I wanted to be, and that I was capable of so many things other than having children. I mean, power to all those who want children for themselves, but this is something that was placed upon me. And so I fled. I could either stay and be resented and hated by my family and a mayor of a town doing a job that I didn't want to do, or I could travel and see the world and make my own fate and use the skills that the Dynama has bestowed upon me. So I feel that everything I do now is in some way to prove them wrong and to show what I'm truly capable of. But
Mayor?
Sorry, what was that?
You ran for mayor and won?
I won. I know. That was
That's
such a long time ago.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, it was pretty good. It was. It was one of my proudest moments, despite the fact that I have no desire to be a mayor, but the fact that I could, if I wanted to, that's the power. That's power.
I don't see anything wrong with wanting what you want and working to get it and not wanting to be someone that someone else wants you to be. That's good, I'd say.
Everybody
Just-
should have control over their own life and their own choices.
Well,
I just
now
hope,
you know.
I just hope you know that we don't want to make those choices for you.
As if I would allow that.
Yes, not that we could. But if you'd have us, we'd like to keep you around.
I'd like to
Your
stick around.
choice entirely.
I would like to stick around.
Perfect.
So, let's eat.
Umiko is like halfway, like as you're eating, she's eating.
I didn't mean to burden you.
Not a burden. If anything, I know you better, and I like it.
Sharing is what squads do. And she like winks at Umiko.
Who immediately is just like, oh no. Just like puts her head back down and starts to eat the fish again.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that as a squad we need some goals. Just to like determine what our squad goals are.
What is
This is my
squad
favorite
goals?
running joke.
So, like for example, tonight our squad goal is to do this funeral pyre.
So, you mean like a squad goal could be to make dinner, or is it a squad goal to go stop the bad guys?
Yeah, you hear Mare coming up behind you. Oh, where did my voice go? You hear
I've been
Mare,
crying. It's fine.
the breathing tube. Anyway, golly gee. So Mare comes up and he's like, how about that one where we save the world? Does that
I'm a
count?
big fan. I'm a big fan of the Save the World squad goal. I feel like while that is not like the one we're gonna do today, I do think that is like number one on the list.
But that's the sort of thing we're looking for, right? Like, save the world, have a funeral, eat more food. Aren't Finn and Umiko gonna build a house?
Yeah,
Oh.
eventually.
Some point. Well, you've got
So-
to have somewhere to live.
Squad
I
goal.
whisper to Sierra, not to Sierra, to Skylar. That confirms some of my theories.
It's all of the smiling.
Maybe
it.
one day I'd like a house again.
Yeah, I mean, first I gotta rebuild my house. And then.
We can do that.
Man,
I
was
can
thinking-
recommend when you rebuild, you add on some bonus guest rooms.
Would you visit?
That's the hint I was dropping by suggesting bonus
Well,
guest
I
rooms.
had a guest. I had an empty room. I put Brun in there sometimes when he got too much, but
That Brune stayed in the house
oh yeah.
all the time?
Well, when I could get him through the door, he actually broke the door at one point, so he came in a lot more often. I wanted company.
Umiko, we've lived very different lives.
I wanted company whilst I made dinner or tea. He was good at that. I made the door wider after that.
And that seems like a good idea.
You know, I imagine we've got the big door in the front, and then we have to have one of those indoor pond things. Like, clearly, that's going to be a requirement.
I would like one of those, if that's a possibility. I don't know how to do it.
I'm thinking it could actually be like a river that goes all the way around the inside of the house, and
oh, I like it. And then the frog could and she starts like pulling like the frog out.
And
And
we
on
can
lazy days, you can just go out and float in it.
yeah.
And
I don't know how we make it move, but
we could
I
use a
could do
hollow
that.
tree.
you could, but then you couldn't just like lay there and enjoy it.
It doesn't take much.
And if you take a hollowed out tree and we warp it into a circular shape, you can sit in it and float on the river.
Oh, I like
In a
that.
boat.
A round boat.
Like
A round boat.
Or like a raft, if I'm getting your meaning, Sierra. Like a
Yes.
round raft with a hole in the middle, and you just like hold on to it.
Yes.
Like you're in the middle and you're holding. See, I like that.
And if you use this river on lazy days, then what's a better name
Damn.
than a sleepy river?
Oh.
It's gonna be like, huh? Sure, we'll go with that one.
It's Sierra's idea. She names it, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Does that mean I get to name the indoor pond?
You have free
I
reigns
guess
over the
they're
pond.
calling it the indoor pond. Are you wanting to call it something different?
I mean, like this particular indoor pond. Like, we could name it like Susan or something.
Susan the
I had
pond.
a reindeer called Susan once.
You can have it in memoriam to Susan the reindeer. Susan the pond.
As long as I can sleep somewhere dry when it rains. Well, Brun, I don't really mind so much. And make tea. I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, I don't know where I'll end up after all of this, but it's reassuring to know that I know a great group of people and that I've been through a lot with them, and no matter where I go from here, at least there's a place where I can touch base and find some of you.
More the merrier.
I appreciate it. I'll have to go home first, talk to Za about what happened to Magda. I think they'd be proud of her. I mean, they'll be sad, they'll grieve, but they've already been grieving Dad. I think that the expectations have been shifting a little bit. And I'll stay with them a little bit, you know, in case they need me. And then I'll have to come find whatever house you're building.
I expect both our folks probably think us dead. So it'll be a relief. Seeing some of us aren't.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. Later that night, the sun is starting to set. The fires are getting brighter. And it's time.
Would you like to do the honors, Skylar?
I mean, and she's gonna turn to look at the other people from camp and Jaden. It's like, I think we all lost someone. Some of us lost lots of someones. She looks at Mare. I think we should all do it together and say our goodbyes.
Mare goes first. He kind of looks around for a second at the other people who seem to be still a little shaken, a little stunned. Tears are streaming down some of their faces. Others are just in shocked silence, and some just genuinely look angry. So Mare goes over to where the bodies are lying out, and he picks Magda up in the same way he carried her to camp. And slowly through the firelight, he walks over to the pyre and gently lays her atop of the flames. They crackle and burn, and he steps away. He looks over to Jaden, who, this may be one of the very few times you have not seen him smiling. And he goes to pick up one of his friends, one of the teenagers who passed away in the fight. And he follows Mare's lead. And with that, some of the apprehension in the townspeople starts to dissipate. And they too start carrying the bodies of their loved ones to the bonfire.
And finally, I think Skylar picks up her sister, which I think anyone looking on would know that this is a challenge for Skylar. She's not very big, but that she's set to do this on her own. And she carries Shyla to the pyre and fixes her hair and just says, "Say hi to Mom and Dad for me." Like Sierra said, I'll see you in the Dynama. And she lays her down. And takes a step back. And as the fires begin to slowly consume them, Skylar is going to turn to her friends, maybe take their hands, and use one of her signature moves.
How does this look?
And I think what you see is actually the remains of the tree that served as Bastion's home begin to glow. And you can tell that this is Skylar using the Dynama, but previously when you've seen it, it has been like a blue or a purple. And now it is a yellow color that matches Shyla's hair. And the tree changes. And it looks like metal or steel. It's as if some of the pieces of parts of the mechs laying around have melded. And around the base of this now metal monument, there is carved into the tree the names of everyone that fell that day at camp, with Shyla's name right in the middle.
As you finish creating this monument, the wave of exhaustion that is all too familiar at this point washes over you. You start to pitch backwards a bit, but Mare's right there, and he catches you and holds you up on your feet.
It's beautiful.
Whoever had gotten past their tears in the encampment is facing them again. There's the silence of the night, the crackling of the fire, and the sound of sobbing. But for a moment, you all just stand there. Smoke rising into the sky past dozens and dozens of stars. It's quiet and so loud all at once. But it's beautiful. The fire flashing off of the newly created metal statue.
Where I come from at home, we would have buried them and given them each a space and remembered their names in the ruins of whatever we could find, so that it would last as long as it could, so that they would be remembered and have their spirits echo. I hope this does the same here.
Mare swallows hard. He's still supporting you, Skylar. He's learned by now what your move, the effect your signature move has on you. And he tries to make sure that you're okay standing up on your own.
And she's like wobbled, but she's kind of replants her feet very firmly on the ground.
I think you did them justice. I think that this is a great way to honor their memory, and I know it's not the same. Hell, I wouldn't have burned them if we had any other choice. The irony is too great, and just... it's not the symbolism I would have preferred. But this is beautiful. And I want to do everything in my power to stop the decay from reaching it. And he kind of looks at the rest of you and makes eye contact one by one. Whatever ending we face has to come soon.
Does.
Are you ready?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to try.
Can you be ready? I mean,
I'm ready.
I'm ready to.
If I don't do something for Magda, for these people, I mean, I'd never forgive myself. I think that makes me as ready as I'll ever be. Waiting's just gonna make it worse.
Yeah.
I need to do something and then I will be ready. But I will be back soon. And she'll probably turn and walk away from the group.
Where are you going, Umiko?
To the river. I need to say goodbye to someone myself.
What about the rest of you?
I'm gonna go kind of do my walk around. It's not really, well, kind of what I was doing during the week once I could walk again. Not so much a patrol, but just like walking around our area, mostly to keep busy, but this time also definitely keeping an eye out.
Kiara's probably trying to comfort like the other survivors and like just like talking to all of them and kind of like making her rounds and holding their hands and making her hands warm and like giving them that kind of comfort that she has mastered the art of.
Doing your fortune teller thing.
Yeah. It's kind of, but not really telling fortunes this time, just kind of trying to give them peace.
Can you go ahead and roll me a Brooks challenge of 2, please?
Can.
That would be 2s and 6s would be what we would look for.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to open my character sheet.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. I got it. Because there's a couple things I can add into this roll, I believe. So, I have a base of 4. I can add in, wait, where is, okay, sorry. I can add in, you know your stuff. People view you as authority and are willing to believe what you state as fact. So I'm imagining she's saying they're okay, they're safe, that kind of thing, in a better place and all that. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
Cool. What number again? Sorry.
2s and 6s. So if you'd like to either use a full reroll or reroll one of the dice, you can.
I'm going to do a complete reroll.
Okay.
I'm gonna do another one.
Okay, I will give you one because as far as I know, you only have one left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh. No. In that case, then we have to go with it. It's fine.
Well, I still have quite a stack, and I will allow you to roll one again.
Oh, okay. That's very generous. Thank you.
No problem. That's what I'm here for. It's not all I kill your friends and burn everything to the ground. Sometimes I give you rerolls.
There we go. Thanks for the reroll.
Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So you definitely, the more people you talk to, the more they seem soothed. Like peace inside their hearts. That you can still see the emotions crossing their faces. but they're breathing easier. They're not shaking as badly after you talk to them. And you're genuinely helping. Skylar, Mare has not holding you up anymore, but he does kind of have a hand right behind your back in case you do fall. It's like, it's lingering, it's not touching you, it's just kind of like there.
And I don't think she doesn't acknowledge it at all, but she is kind of grateful because while she feels steady at the moment, she has taken only a very brief nap and has used 3 signature moves today.
That's a lot.
And I think she spends a while just kind of staring at the fire with Mare, probably occasionally controlling the flame to keep it at bay using little bits of Dynama and just kind of moving things around herself. But eventually I think she just kind of turns to him and she just says, everything has to end at some point.
I can't tell if I'm grateful for that thought or upset by it.
Me neither. But, I mean, I think I find it comforting for tomorrow. I think it's time we go and deal with this.
I agree. Skylar,
yeah?
You haven't overdone it today, have you? Look, I've seen how tired you get, and I understand that maybe the smaller acts of fixing the fire with Dynama aren't as big of a deal, don't expend as much energy, but you look exhausted.
I just need to sleep. I think I should probably just do that now. Yeah.
Okay. Take care of yourself, okay?
You too. I'll see you in the morning.
The cabin that y'all had stayed in when you first arrived at the camp is unoccupied and fairly intact since it was set apart from the others and also on the ground, which we talked about the houses that fell out of the trees had sustained much more damage. But sure enough, inside are some of the belongings you'd left behind, bedrolls. They're not burned, but they do look singed in some places before the fire went out. They're still functional, they're still useful.
And to be a blazer.
Is there a blazer?
They're a blazer. Did you hear, Skylar?
Yes, she took it off before they went out into on their adventure so that it didn't get damaged.
Skylar, I found something.
And so Skylar stops at the monument and just kind of places a hand over Shyla's name. And then heads to where she hears Sierra calling for her from the cabin.
All right, I have a surprise for you. I'm holding it behind my back. I have a surprise for you.
Oh God.
You have 3 guesses as to what it might be.
Something shiny.
Okay. More
Did you
specific.
find it? Oh, it's the little things, man. You gotta love the little things.
Here, let me help you put it on, and I'll hold it out.
Okay.
It's
It
a
is
jar.
kind of cold out here. Well, thank you, Sierra. But I might quite literally pass out any second. So I'm gonna go to bed.
You should do that. Take care of yourself.
Tomorrow we save the world.
Mare makes his way over to Fen next. Hey, I know we're all pretty beat, but I'd probably feel a little safer if we set up a watch like we did last night. Just take turns. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Jaden overhears and kind of bounces over. He says, "Did I hear watch? I can take a shift. Do you want me to take a shift? I can help."
How are you so awake?
Well, it's not even late yet.
No, you just have so much energy.
Oh,
It's great. I just don't know how.
you could sleep first then. I could take first watch. I'm wide awake.
I'm just gonna share a glance with Mari. Like, get me up before.
Mari just like shrugs, shakes his head. He does not have this much energy.
I think I found the same pipe that I found the other day. I was like dragging along the fence, but now the fence has fallen over, and it's like, let's try and set it back up a little bit. One of those things you don't know why you do it, but you do it anyway. And we'll head back to our cabin.
Mari follows you after kind of shaking Jaden's hand and saying, "Okay, we're relying on you. I'll be up in 3 hours or so to relieve you of your position, yeah?" Jaden's like, yeah, okay, I'll do my best. And Mari's like, yeah, okay, I know you will. I'm gonna go get some shut-eye too. It's just, it's been a long day. Oh, and keep an eye on the fire too, will you? Jaden nods again, and Mari makes his way over to y'all's cabin as well.
Don't think Umiko comes back until very, very late. Very late. Shifts have probably changed. But when she comes back, she's drenched.
How late is very, very late?
She'll probably be gone for maybe 5-6 hours.
Okay. So you come back kind of on the tail end of Mari's shift, and he looks up at you and says, "Hey, I was just about to go get Finn and change over. Are you doing okay?"
I'm fine. If you want, I can take this watch. Let Finn sleep a little longer.
Yeah, if you're up to it, then sure. I bet we could all use the sleep where we can get it.
I'll sleep at some point.
Okay. And he nods and heads inside, leaving you in the doorway to take a shift. He does not wake Finn.
He sort of sits down, cross-legged in the doorway, propping herself up again against that doorway, and there's probably a puddle where she sat because she's absolutely soaked. And she takes something from around her neck and just thumbs it, just plays with it for a little bit. Talks to herself a little bit, but not anything that is almost a muttering rather than actual words. And waits and just keeps watch as Bryn sort of sleeps next to her. So he's got his head rested on her legs, and she just sort of strokes the top of his nose until the watch is over.
Can you roll me a perception check, please?
Mm-hmm. Does anything? Is it just a? It's not a challenge, is it? It's a check.
3, yeah. Looking for 3s or 6s. Heck yeah. If you want to re-roll those 2d6. Okay. Awesome. So that brings it up to an epic success. Which generally means you get to narrate how this pans out.
Do I see anything?
You do. It's the early hours of the morning. The sun is just starting to come up on the horizon. A lot like it did that first day in Mellowary. You can see just above the treetops a large metal object. And as for a moment you watch it, you feel the ground rumble underneath you. With each step that this massive mech takes, you can just barely see the red light behind its lenses. And it is coming straight for the encampment. And that is where we will end the penultimate episode of Dynama this week. Wow, y'all, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Go to bed. Go to bed.
I love you all. I mean, I will. I'm going to take more pain meds and then maybe go to bed. But anyway, I had so much fun. I love this game, and I love all of these players. We are going to hop on over to the Scrat Discord to talk about some of our favorite moments for today, or just about the game in general. I know I had a couple of great favorites that stood out to me. This was more low-key, but definitely still had a lot of those signature Dynama feels. See what I did there? Signature move? What? No, it's okay. Don't worry. I'm on a lot of pain meds. I love you all. I'm going to hand it over to Alice now.
That's awesome. Thank you, Renee, you trooper. But yes, this has been awesome. I'm not ready for this campaign to end at all, just so everyone is aware. But yes, please look in the chat and see all of our links and all of our very wonderful sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm and Mage Hand Press. We are going to hop over to the Discord now, maybe talk about favorite moments, and we'd love to hear yours as well. So yeah, until next week, the final episode of Dynama. Keep evoking emotions, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Welcome to the Academy. Please take your seats.